Hi, this is Darren Fox from the Donald E. Prey Law Library at the University of Oklahoma College of Law. Thought I would make a quick video just to help those of you who are Westlaw Classic users make the transition to WestlawNext. And I've got 10 quick tips here. I'll probably break this up into two parts, so here's 1 through 5. Let's start by looking at Westlaw Classic and remembering that the way we used to start all of our searches in Westlaw Classic was by choosing a database. You had to pick a database first. In WestlawNext, you don't have to do that. You can just pick a jurisdiction and off you go. But assuming you do want to pick a database, the ways we used to do it are first by looking at the directory. Well, the directory link is gone from WestlawNext, but they have built what they call a word wheel into the main search box. So if you wanted to search in Wright and Miller, you just start typing the name of the database that you want, and you'll see a drop down here. And be sure not to hit enter because that'll run a search for Wright. Instead, click the link right here below, and you'll know that you're searching only that database when this tab comes up. So that means your search is only running in that database. So that's the first tip. Second thing that's changed is the research trail. Going back and looking at what you've researched earlier in the day or a week ago, they changed the name of the research trail in WestlawNext to History. And it's still up here in the right corner, so your recent searches are on the right hand side and your recent documents are on the left hand side. So research trail becomes history. If you used to use find and print right up here in the top of Westlaw Classic to put a bunch of citations in and have them retrieved, you can now find that on WestlawNext under Tools. And they buried it down here about 10 links down, but here's find and print, and it works just the same way. Okay, so that's the third one. Fourth one, if you remember, notice how I've got all these tabs here. The tabs were incredibly helpful, pulling together information on one topic for you, like there's intellectual property or the legislative history tab. Well, the tabs have gone away from WestlawNext. You'll notice I'm clicking this logo up here to get back to the home page. That's how you get back to the home page. Instead, what we have now are practice areas here, and so you can drill down into these practice areas, which are not nearly as extensive as the tabs were in Westlaw Classic, but the big ones are here. You can also, try to drill down by database type, so the type of information. So secondary sources would be there, and then if you want to look for a particular treatise, come into text and treatises, and we have a list of topics right here. Okay, so that's what happened to the tabs. Once you do find a database that you really like, you can star that database, and you see next to everything that I look at there's this little yellow star, which if I were to click that, it puts it over here on your home page right on the side. So I starred Federal Practice and Procedure, and there it is right there on my home page. So that's a quick way to do that. There's some other ways to do that which I'll get into in later videos, but that was part 1. I'm going to take a pause here, and then I will start part 2 of tips for transitioning from Westlaw Classic to WestlawNext.